This is Dudes Who Bet Sports.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Sports for another week for a Breeders' Cup week. That's right, Breeders' Cup week. It is happening tomorrow. So we are on the eve of the Breeders' Cup. Happy Halloween to all those who are excited about that. It's my least favorite holiday. I'll say that. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree.
I hate it.
I don't get much into it. No,
It's the worst.
not even when I was a kid.
No, not a fan. Not a fan of it at all. Well, like I said, going to be a huge Breeders' Cup. There's a lot going on right now. A lot of horses scratching the last couple of days, but nothing huge. No huge significant scratch. So you know, it is what it is. That's kind of going to happen, but we're good right now. So we're going to start off the show before we get into the sports today. We are going to talk about the Breeders' Cup Classic. I think it's one of the best Breeders' Cup Classics we've had in terms of depth. Gosh, there's a lot of options you can go with, Papa Dude. I know your horse, though, so make the case for why you picked Fierceness.
Okay, a couple things first. I've got to give you a shout out.
Okay.
Last week, the World Series, you predicted the Dodgers in 5 games.
Yep.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You know, before we get into this, just real quick, I really enjoyed those games. I mean, they were, for the most part, fascinating games.
Yeah.
So I wanted the Yankees to win last night, so we'd have another game.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to the Dodgers. They are tough. They are gritty, and they just beat the Yankees. They just beat them.
Well,
I mean, the Yankees beat themselves
last night. The Yankees gave it to them. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
They did, but they took advantage of it, and really a good team. And Freddie Freeman, wow, what a series he had.
Yeah,
and you know that whole series turned in that grand slam in that first game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have to think it might have been different had they lost that game. But anyway,
I think at the end of the day, you want to sum up the World Series. The stars on the Dodgers were stars, and the stars on the Yankees were not. I think that there were flashes where they had some production, but day in, day out, or 5 games, game in, game out. The Yankees stars made too many, whether it be mistakes like last night or whether it just be they didn't get the big hits when they had a chance to do it, overall. I know they got a couple in game 4 and they kind of set themselves up to win game 1. But at the end of the day, guys like Freeman and Mookie Betts and even Tommy Edman, players like that, they made plays more often than the Yankees.
Right. And their bullpen was pretty solid.
The bullpen was great. The Yankees were pretty weak in the bullpen past Weaver. Weaver was very good. The rest of them weren't. And, I got to give a huge shout out and a ton of credit to Walker Buehler. An unheralded star of the series. He pitched tremendous in game 3 and got that game 3 win for the Dodgers. And then to come in just 2 nights later and close out that game last night and do it easy. There was never any worry. He mowed them down. Give major credit to Walker Buehler.
Yeah. They did everything they had to do to win. Yeah. And then the Yankees helped them. And you can't help a team like the Dodgers. That's for sure.
And when Ohtani got hurt, he obviously was not the same player, but the Dodgers were so good offensively that's you could kind of, it was a blow, but you could kind of absorb it a little better.
Yeah.
Their weakness wasn't hitting. You take Ohtani out of that lineup, they're still very good.
They're really good. Yeah. So a deserving champion. That's for sure.
Yes. I enjoyed it. I'm with you. I enjoyed that series, even though it was 5 games so much. And I enjoyed the whole playoffs. So that was great.
Yeah, it really was. It was a great baseball season, really. Overall.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing. I see Cindy's on here today. Maybe you see Cindy more than I do, but I haven't seen Cindy in a long time.
No, been a while.
So welcome back, Cindy. I hope you're feeling good.
Yep.
All right. So to get to the race, I'm with you. I think it's an interesting one. It's one where you know a heck of a lot more about it than I do, because we got a couple of horses in here that are big time contenders that don't run over here much.
That's right.
And so we got to turn to experts like you guys, because you follow the European circuit a heck of a lot more than I do. and the Japanese as well.
Hmm.
So let's look at those two. We have Forever Young, and we have the number one horse, and we have the number three horse in City of Troy that have just been lighting it up.
Yep.
Out of 14 races between them, they've each had 7. They've won 6.
Yep.
So they win everywhere. They're grade 1 horses. The thing with City of Troy, turf horse, and now going to dirt. Now, how much of a factor do you play in that?
Yeah, it's the $1 million question.
Yes.
Of course, City of Troy would be a heavy favorite if he was
Right.
in the Breeders' Cup Turf. He is not entered there, and that shows you they do have confidence that he can do it. He does have a pedigree on the top end that says that he can handle the dirt. Obviously, being by Justify, a Triple Crown winner, 6 for
Mhm.
6 on the dirt. Another big thing that I thought, if you listen to the John White show on, I believe that was, what day was that? Tuesday, and you can listen to it now, the replay of it up on the YouTube site. He basically said, all the old school trainers always told John and always taught John, a turf horse, his first start on the dirt, they will run better than maybe 3-4 times down the road. That first race on the dirt for a turf horse usually goes better. So he thought it was a very smart move to save it for here, to save it for the horse's biggest race. So
Yeah.
There are positives, but there are also that unknown is a major negative, and there's no way to know, and there's no way to get around it.
Right. But the connections know what they're doing. So that's something you have to look at. By the way, John is on the consensus on the betting Bible. And I don't know whether this is a good thing for him or not, but out of the 22 races, me and him are the same on 13. So
I know. I saw that as well. By the way, little insider for everybody listening. So what happens is the Magic and John and Jared and Papa Dude will email me their picks, and then I put them on there and put it all together. John White and Papa Dude sent their emails with picks 1 minute apart. So that's very interesting.
Oh, I know. Got to meet this guy someday. That's for sure. All right.
Yeah, and by the way, another quick shout out to John. His Dodgers win the World Series, so congratulations to John as well. John was in attendance for Game 2 of the World Series, his first ever World Series game that he had been to. So it was really cool to be texting John last night as the Dodgers won. But anyway, go ahead.
That's good.
Yep.
All right, and the other one is Forever Young, Japanese horse.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it's hard to overlook this one. Done a lot of things right. Finished third to Kentucky Derby. Has only ran once since then, but won fairly easy. So how do you play that? Are you to read into that? The long layoff, is that good? And then came back and got that win. I know you like this horse a lot.
I wrote in the betting Bible for this race. I like a lot of horses in this race, but I hate all of them when they're up against each other. It was so tough for me to decide. And I did end up picking Forever Young to win this race. It doesn't mean that I am over the moon to bet him to win in this race, but I do think when you look at all the factors, I believe he's the most likely winner of the race. I was not a huge fan of him going into the Kentucky Derby until John White talked me into it. So you may not have to bet him to win, but put him on your exact as your tries. He said, I'm telling you, he's really good. I said, all right, I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah. I remember that.
Was phenomenal in the Kentucky Derby. If you remember, like I thought he would, he got out of the gate horrible. He's 16th. He's buried. And I'm chuckling up the backside going, I tried to tell John, don't do this, and then all of a sudden he made a circus-like move, like a tremendous move. The race is won. He's going to win it. And then Sierra Leone decides to just bump him all the way down the stretch, and he gets third. So that convinced me. It is normal for the Japanese horses. When they go back from the United States, they have to quarantine. It's a whole ordeal.
I see.
So that's why that's the layoff situation. I thought he came back and was very sharp. And listen, I think him and City of Troy are both very good. I know Forever Young can handle the dirt. I'm not sure about City of Troy.
Exactly.
So that's why I put Forever Young on top. Plus, the other big thing, hey, if I'm sitting here and I'm going, man, this race, there's 4 or 5 of them that can win. Well, give me the better price. And I think Forever
Sure.
Young, that's the right price to bet at 6-1.
Well, I think that third place in the Derby and the way he ran, that would put him ahead of City of Troy. So
That was kind of the key point. If he would have come over here and run like 8th, and you say, well, I know why he ran 8th. Look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Then it's like I probably wouldn't put him on top, but I would play him because like I respected that. But to have all that go wrong in the Derby, and he still, I think he would have won it if not for Sierra Leone.
yeah, I do too.
And if he does go win it, like say Sierra Leone gets stuck in traffic and he's never around him, and Forever Young goes and wins the race. How much better would we think he is, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So to me, it's like I just think he's a proven commodity, and I'm not gonna. I don't have any like high confidence in anybody in this race, to be honest,
Right.
because it's all very tough. I have the most confidence in him,
Yeah. Well, you got to go with him then.
and I am confident he will show up and he will run his race. Now, I am
Right.
not confident that that's good enough to win, but I think I'm more confident he's going to show up and run well versus some of the other main guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my pick, of course, which is
Yep.
the 9, Fierceness, who I've liked all year. And we all
Yep.
know him. We don't have to talk about him much. He seems to have figured things out. He's won 2 in a row. So he's broke that cycle of a good race and a bad race and a good race and a bad race. He actually won 2 in a row.
Yep.
Won the Travers, hasn't been out since, should be rested. He'll get the lead, and it'll just be, can he hold it?
Yeah.
And what will go out and try to run with him. And I don't see anything that's very good that can run with him.
Mhm.
You know, Arthur's ride to 12 will probably go up there. Maybe Surrogate, Surtagaki, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll probably go.
Yeah.
But they're not that good. So are they going to be able to run with him? So the
Yeah.
key will be how he gets out of the gate. Will he get the lead? And can he hold on?
Mhm.
So, you know, he's another one. If he's at his best, he's probably good enough, or he's probably the better horse in the race if he's at his best. And that's
Yeah.
the big deal on him.
You brought up John, and you brought up how much you've thought like him in this process, and him and I kind of have the same ideas of this race and some of the other ones as well. That if you buy the Bible, you can see that. But anyway, so when we kind of were talking about this race, Jared asked him, "Hey, if Fierceness runs his best race, is any of this really going to matter? Like he's just going to win, right?" And John thought that City of Troy could beat Fierceness if City of Troy runs his best versus Fierceness. I lean more towards your thought process. If Fierceness runs the Travers race, I'm pretty skeptical that they can beat him in this spot. Yeah. So,
Well, and then I think you have to throw the 11 in to hit the board.
yeah.
Sierra Leone, because he always does.
Th-
Seems like it. Just
Yep.
we've talked about him till we're blue in the face. He just, in a big field, he gets too far behind,
Yep.
and he has to make up too much ground.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he just can't do it against these stud horses. He just,
You know what I'm worried about with him?
what's that?
The last several races, a lot of people have relied on him to win, and he didn't do it, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to rely on him to run third.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just like him to run fifth and be very close to
Yeah.
third, but run
Yeah.
fifth and be like, he just
Absolutely.
where people want him to be or need him to
Mm-hmm.
be. He's just, it's since the bluegrass, he just hasn't been there, And I was talking to Jared about this last night. I was like, I agree with the assessment that, man, he's 12-1. He could run second and third and juice up an exactor
Yeah.
try. But
Yeah.
I said it'd be just like him to run fifth and
Yeah.
get beat a length for third,
He hasn't shown that, though.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
So
And I'm
you're
on
right.
that bandwagon.
Yeah.
I think he can do it, but I would
Yeah.
also kind of laugh if he
Yeah.
did. You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to look at his Derby race as well. If you're going to like Forever Young, you got to like his too.
Yeah.
He came from 17th, then 16th, and then he was 8th. and finished and lost by a nose, finishing second. So he's done that. He did that in the Belmont, came from way off and finished third, losing by a length and a half. Jim Dandy finished second by 1. So, and the Travers, he came from off the pace. So he's going to be close. He can't finish. That's the problem. So, but
Well,
you're doing tries, I'd hate to leave him off and get beat by him.
I am under the theory, let's say. I have the theory of this summer he actually improved greatly, but people don't see it that way because he kept losing and losing in similar fashion. But when you think about it, I thought the Belmont was the worst race of his career. I thought that's the only time I watched Sierra Leone and thought you didn't run as well as I thought.
Do you think that because the Belmont was a weaker field?
Yes, I think he should have beat him that day.
Yeah.
But that being said, you fast forward to the Jim Dandy, he's not beating Fierceness when Fierceness fires. He'll never make up the links.
You can't catch him. No.
He can't catch him, and nobody
within a length.
Exactly. It's like he ran really, really close to him. And then the Travers, he was beaten again by Fierceness, who ran even better, and Torpedo Anna, who ran her eyeballs out. But he was still right there.
He was.
And he was making up ground on him. So it's unbelievable. And he's well clear of the other horses in both these races. And what it shows me is he got pretty unlucky. Say Fierceness never comes back, right? And it's like, well, he just wasn't any good, and he disappears like a lot of them do. Well, all of a sudden, Sierra Leone wins the Jim Dandy by 6, and he gets beat by the filly in the Travers. I mean, he really improved over the summer, and he didn't get rewarded for it. Is my thought.
Exactly.
But again, even if we're saying, hey, he can't beat Fierceness, he can't beat this horse. Well, there's good horses in this race as well that he probably can't beat.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at him. So
I know, and I understand it.
Yeah.
I've been on his bandwagon even in these losing efforts for all summer, really. So
his style just hurts him a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at Highland Falls, the 2 a little bit, coming off a win, grade 1 win in the Jockey Gold Cup. Can he parlay that into another great effort? I don't know. And I always go to one that wins a lot. And I know this horse hasn't been in these kind of races, but I always look at one like the number 14 next, who's only won 7 straight races by a grand total of 91 lengths. Now, I know they haven't been this quality, but 91 lengths, you win 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. And the horse is 13 out of 23 in its lifetime. Big step up. Probably the outside post really hurts. But at 8-1, I don't know. I might throw him in there in something. He's got a shot to get maybe top 4.
Yeah.
So
I would love for him to win. I think it'd be awesome. I really like him.
He's just over his head, probably.
I ended up landing on the same kind of thought process as you just said, and John. I just feel like, okay, now we have to really see what he's made of, because John made a good point. He's like, take Highland Falls, for example, who's 20-1. He goes, would Highland Falls beat those horses that Next was facing, by 10 lengths, 15 lengths? He said he might.
He might.
He goes, but when he faces tougher, we've seen what he can do. And it's a good point. So
it is.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just kind of mentioned him for fun.
Yeah. No. I listen, I'm a big fan of his. I hope he wins. I really
that would
do.
be cool.
Yeah. A couple questions before we move on. Lord says he's subscribed to the Race Suits for the first time. Thank you so much for doing that, first of all. And he poses a good question. Who is the most likely loser between Lake Victoria, Cogburn, and Torpedo Anna? What a tough question.
I would go Lake Victoria.
Okay. Yeah.
I would. I'm a little concerned about Cogburn, just a little bit. He's kind of a step up too, don't you think? A little bit for him.
I'm scared. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one should win, but I'm going to say this too. I don't think she ran particularly with. Let me look at her right fast. Wasn't
No,
it
you're
last
right.
time out she barely won?
Torpedo Anna, we were standing at the football game. Remember watching this?
Yes.
And we're like, that wasn't great.
Has the mystique of Kenny McKeek started to wear on Torpedo Anna?
Yeah,
That
I don't
worries
know.
me a little bit.
Yeah.
That
My
worries
answer is
me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it worries me. It really
Yeah.
does.
My answer is Torpedo Anna. I think she's the most vulnerable
It could be.
because I think she's very good, but I do think there's a chance she's kind of going backwards. And I think the Japanese horse in there is really good.
Yeah. Did that race against Fierceness take something out of her?
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem. Yep.
Yeah.
I think Lake Victoria, I'm over the moon about. I'm really excited. But drew the one, and there's some suspense there, but I still think she's very good. Cogburn has the toughest challenge, I think, though.
Oh, yeah.
There's those international horses like a Bradsell, like a Big Evs, like a Believing. They're very good. That is scary. I'm scared of. I would rank it Torpedo Anna, Cogburn, and Lake Victoria in that order.
Cogburn has just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not out of nowhere, but
but what I mean is
he was kind of forgotten, and then they moved him to the turf last year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now he's taken off and he's unbelievably good.
Yeah.
But when you look at he hasn't won a lot of grade ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I may be stupid to say this, but I think it's kind of a step up for him.
No, I don't think that's stupid at all. This is a step up from what he's been beating. He's been beating the best horses here, but that doesn't mean a whole lot when you get to this field.
No.
Your second, third, fourth, fifth choices are all horses that Cogburn's never faced before.
That's right. So I'm not real confident in him winning.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Hope he does, but we know he'll be ready.
Yes. Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because I love Cogburn. So
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the trainer even more. So
all right. A couple more. Yeah, exactly. A couple more questions or comments, I should say. Kevin says it's funny. Torpedo Anna can be the likeliest loser, but also in the easiest race. I agree. After Awesome Result. Now let's pretend Awesome Result is just okay, or maybe just doesn't run very well. Who's really supposed to beat Torpedo Anna in that race? So that's the thing. But the thing here's how I view the distaff. If Torpedo Anna is good to go and runs her race, I really don't think she's losing.
Right.
But if a horse shows up at the Breeders' Cup and just runs a B effort, even though you look at it and go, maybe she can win with a B, you're not winning a Breeders' Cup with a B effort. So somebody will beat her if she doesn't show up with her best. Yeah.
Yeah. She only won by a neck last time out.
Well,
that was not a quality race.
Okay, so what was it, Gun Song or whatever?
Yeah.
I think that's So okay, there's 4 or 5 horses better than Gun Song in this race. Gun Song just lost her next start to Tarifa. So there's better horses than her in this race. So somebody will beat Torpedo Anna if she's not at her best.
Yeah, she better be ready.
Yep.
I wouldn't bet the house. That's for sure.
A couple of more things. Harrison says Lake Victoria could do 2 laps by the time the others catch up. Kevin says Lake Victoria, if I could click on it, Lake Victoria may be the horse we look back on and think we were lucky to see. Agree. I think she's the one I'm most excited about tomorrow for sure. I can't wait to watch her. And East Avenue. Those are the 2 that I can't wait for. So, okay.
All right.
Well, that's the Breeders' Cup coverage here. Now, good news. Blinkers Off will be on later. Magic Mike will be on later, and you'll get all the Breeders' Cup coverage that you need or want there. But this show is a sports show.
That's right.
Which means we're going to college football. Now,
I'm
going to be honest with you. I have looked and studied at these games, but not nearly as much time has been put into it this week for obvious reasons. But you have put in all the time. So we're ready to go. All right. Friday, we'll kick it off. Boise State, back-to-back Fridays for Boise State this weekend and last weekend, obviously. A little bit easier game today. 23.5-point favorite at home against San Diego State. That'll kick us off. Where are you going?
Well, again, you just have to look at the point spread
Yeah.
and see what you think. I think they should cover that. San Diego State not having a great season. They're usually a little better than this. They normally play pretty well defensively. The key here is Boise State coming off a big win over UNLV. Will they take this game seriously? I think they will because they're in the battle for that playoff spot. They can't afford to have a 17-14 type hiccup game. They need to come out and win as bad as they can.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take them to cover this at home. If it was down in San Diego, I probably would be a little bit more iffy on it. But I think the Broncos win this one pretty easy.
I'm with you. I'm going to go Boise State to cover as well. They are, I would say, especially after Navy got exposed, it kind of makes you think, okay, maybe Army's going to get exposed here soon as well. And then it's Boise State's to have. So I think they keep it going. I think Boise State wins. I don't think it'll be close. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Kevin B's here.
Yes, he
I
is.
was on the Penn State bandwagon last
You
week.
were.
They came through for us 28-13.
did.
They outclassed Wisconsin. However, they're not going to outclass Penn State. This will be Ohio State. Ohio State travels to Penn State, 3.5-point favorite for the Buckeyes. By the way, the Buckeyes struggles last weekend. Thought they might lose that game for a second against Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's a wild one. I don't know if the Buckeyes should be 3.5-point favorites. What do you think?
I watched a lot of that game with
Mhm.
Nebraska coming off a fine 56-7 loss to Indiana.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a bye going into that, and you could argue they should have lost.
Mm-hmm.
If Nebraska had just a little bit better offense, they would have beat them.
Yep.
That was a poor performance. It is alarming to me that they played that poorly at home, coming off a bye and going into this game.
Agree.
Meanwhile, Penn State went up to a dangerous game against Wisconsin, the type of team that's similar to them, and beat them by what was it? 13, 14-point win, I think?
15-point win.
Yeah, that's very impressive. They
Yep.
won it the way you should, pulling away late.
Yep.
This is a huge game for Penn State.
Yep.
I mean, it's so big. They're at home.
Yep.
They've been waiting for this. They hired a new offensive coordinator to improve their offense for games like this.
Yep.
I don't like Ohio State's quarterback. I never have. Give me the Nittany Lions. I'm going with Penn State to beat.
Oh, the Nittany Lions plus the 3.5. You think outright win as well for the Nittany Lions, right?
Well, I'm going to have to take the points as far
Right.
as that goes, but I really think they're going to beat them.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah. Well, another thing that this is such a huge game. If Penn State wins, Ohio State, they might be out of this thing as far as the playoff goes.
Absolutely.
And they probably should be, honestly.
They have 2 tough games on their schedule, and they would have lost them both.
Yes, and I think unless craziness happens, I think they're out or close to out. So, and also with Penn State, you could lock it up. I mean, pretty much. You still have to win games, obviously, but you win this one, you're in great shape.
You're in.
It'd be great.
And the other team that's sitting around rooting their ass off for Penn State is Indiana.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, Penn State, man, it's all riding on them, man. They could bury Ohio State.
Good.
Which means Ohio State will win the game. Sorry, Kevin. Ohio State's going to go in there and beat Penn State this weekend.
Kevin, I picked Penn State.
All right. I'm going Ohio State minus the 3.5. I think they're going to go in there and beat them. I think it'll cause a little bit of chaos.
It will.
Oh, Kevin, I hate to agree with fear. I think Ohio State's going to win double digits. I just do. I just have a feeling they're going to.
Okay. I've listened to some guys talking about this game today, and they're thinking if Ohio State loses, Ryan Day's in big trouble at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But then they were talking about what about Franklin at Penn State? He can't win a game against the big guys in the Big Ten. And they go, no, his buyout is way too high. So he has one of those stupid buyouts as
Oh, we
well.
know about that.
Oh yeah, we do. And that's a whole nother topic we'll get into some other time. But I just kind of feel like this is their time. Now the other question is too, if they lose this game and they go ahead and win out, they got to be in.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not as crucial for Penn State to win as it is Ohio State.
Yeah. I agree. Listen,
far as
I am going to go definitely without any doubt Ohio State dominant in this game. So,
Okay.
and then we'll see. Cause then we'll have Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana all in the mix there. And of course, Oregon. And then we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I can't go with Penn State in this game. I just can't. I think Ohio State's better.
We'll
see.
One other thing, Kevin, you may know because you're a Big Ten fan. I was listening to some guys, and they've made a comment, and I wasn't listening very close, that if Oregon finishes first, they're not in the championship game. They don't have to play in the championship game in the Big Ten.
They definitely would have to play in the championship.
Well, I would
game.
think so, but these are people who know.
People who know are saying Oregon doesn't have to play in a Big Ten championship game if they're the number one
finishes
team.
first doesn't play in. That's what they said.
I think that
I do too.
I
didn't look it up. I should have.
Is accurate at all.
I wouldn't think so either. Because first of all, you're losing out on a lot of money.
I think this is probably what they were saying.
Oh, it may have been, and I didn't get in on it.
If it's a three-way tie, there could be a situation. Yeah,
there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So
I knew you'd know, Kevin.
Well, I mean, logic would know as well. That's not right. So.
With these stupid conferences the way they are, I believe anything. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Duke and Miami. That's next on this one. Duke and Miami coming in here, and Miami is a 20-point favorite. They, they continue to impress. They keep winning games. Maybe they're not playing the best teams, but they kind of got lucky and won a couple, but they've been dominant in some other ones.
Yeah.
20-point favorite for Miami. What do you think?
A good, steady Duke team, pretty spunky, play hard every week. Are they going to hit the wall? I can see this as a hit the wall game. They played pretty well against SMU last week. Went right down to the wire with them. I think this is a hit the wall game, and I think Miami covers late.
I agree. I like Miami in that game as well. I'm with you on that one. Interesting game here. Ole Miss goes on the road to take on Arkansas. Ole Miss is a 7-point favorite here. They got, I would call it, if I was an Ole Miss fan, I would not be satisfied with the win last week, even though that was a win. They'll take on Arkansas, who looked really, really good against a bad team, but still won out on the road, Mississippi State. Ole Miss a 7-point favorite. Who you got?
Well, I didn't think Arkansas would go down there and win that bad.
No, I didn't either. No, I thought they would win, but I honestly thought it might be close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Tennessee a 7-point favorite?
I believe so.
Isn't Tennessee better than Ole Miss?
I think so. Yeah.
They're better coached than Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Ole Miss they're undisciplined.
Yes.
How many stupid personal fouls did they get?
Yeah.
I am taking Arkansas with a lot of confidence in this game because I think it's even. I think Arkansas is about as good as they are. Yeah. I don't like Ole Miss at all. I haven't the entire season. I think offensively, their quarterback is pretty good. Now, they may get their wide receiver back, who's a superstar, and he did not play against Oklahoma, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Arkansas plays them well. Anyway, this used to be a huge rivalry, and I guess it kind of still is. When Arkansas was in the Southwest Conference, they used to play Ole Miss as a non-conference game a lot. I'm taking Arkansas. I think I may not have the guts to take them outright, but Arkansas on the points is my play in this game.
Yeah, I like Arkansas on the points as well. I'm with you. I was not impressed with Ole Miss at all watching them last week. So, I think Arkansas will be ready to go. I think the LSU game might have me a little scared. They did not play well in that game. But yeah, if they can do what they did against Tennessee, they're definitely going to be able to be in this game late. So I'll get Arkansas plus the 7 this week. I'm with you on that one.
They're going to think they can win this one.
I would think so. And again, like you said, they're going to, say what you want about Arkansas and their coaching situation. The Ole Miss looked like a terribly coached football team to me.
I think so.
I mean, I did not think they were great at all. I don't know. Maybe they get right here, get a big win, but
They might.
I think it'll be close. All right. Air Force goes on the road this week to take on Army. So Army is still undefeated, but they're, we'll see what happens here. They should dominate Air Force. So 22-point favorite. Any thoughts on this game?
I think they dominate them. Air Force is inept on offense. They just can't score any points. And Army's been putting up a bunch. It would just be because it's an academy game, maybe.
Yeah.
But if I remember right, Navy didn't have any trouble.
No, they destroyed them. Yeah.
With Air Force. And I think that was in Colorado.
Yep.
So this one's at West Point. Army's rolling. They've had a week off. Give me the Cadets to cover.
Yeah, big game for Army. I think they get the job done. Then they go to North Texas next week. That's going to be a challenge.
That's a toughie.
And then you got a week off to prepare for Notre Dame. And listen, that's the season right there. If you can,
it is.
Navy failed the test, but if Army could pass the test, then they've got a shot at it. But they got to win this week first, and I think they will. All right. Boy, I think this will be, if you like hard-nosed football, running the football defense, this is a pretty good game. Minnesota at Illinois. Yeah. Minnesota is a 3-point favorite in this game.
Kind of a sketchy line there.
Why? Yeah.
Well, Illinois got killed last week.
Yes.
And Minnesota killed Maryland. So that's part of it.
Yep.
Minnesota beat USC. And they're playing pretty good. And I just think they don't have a lot of confidence in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
But dadgummit, the game is there.
Yeah.
And they are 6-2.
I'm with Kevin. I think they bounce back and win this game.
I do too. I'm going to go with Illinois in the points because I can't take Minnesota on the road.
Yeah, Dennis says he likes the under. I think that is a good bet. 45.5. These teams are going to play slow. So I'm with you on that one. All right. Well, at the beginning of the season, we thought this would be quite a clash. Not so much now. Oregon goes on the road to take on Michigan. You still have the big house, and it's Michigan, and they're still pretty good up front, but it's a mess at Michigan. Oregon's a 14.5-point favorite in this one. Any thoughts of an upset here, or do you think
Oregon will have to play just terrible?
Yeah.
I think Michigan can slow them down some.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to give them credit. They played Michigan State last week, and the Wolverines were reeling, and Michigan State was playing very well.
Yep. And
Michigan thumped them. So that gives you a little bit of hope if you're a Michigan fan that this team hasn't quit, that's for sure. So I think this game might be close for a while because I think Michigan will shut them down some. But then you get to their side of the ball where they have to try to do something. And Oregon's defense is underrated. They're pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can look any better than Dylan Gabriel right now. He is just in charge of that offense, and they're getting better every week.
Yep.
I think this will be close for a while. We may be looking 14-7 at the half, something like that. But I think they pull away late and cover.
I think they're going to cover as well. I took Oregon in this one as well. And I think it's going to look a lot like the Texas game looked when they went up there. And God, Michigan was showing pride and they were battling, but they were just helpless on one side of the ball. And eventually they weren't able to cover, and they're not going to be able to cover this one either. Give me the Ducks minus the 14.5. All right. Largest outdoor cocktail party will be next. Florida and Oregon meeting in Jacksonville. This really hasn't been much of a game lately. Nope. Georgia, 16.5-point favorite here. Who you got?
A lot of celebrating on the red and black sideline, not the blue and whatever they are. Blue and white and red, whatever orange, I guess. So Florida's improving. Are they improving enough to save Billy Napier's job? I think if they play a competitive game here, it'll go a long way maybe to helping him save his job. I think they're getting better. Mm-hmm. They ain't beating Georgia. Mm-mm. Georgia's just too good, and they're not going to be able to. They can't go toe-to-toe with them in the trenches. So I think it'll be a fun game for a little while, but then Georgia will wear them down and blow them out. So I'm going Georgia to cover.
I think Georgia will cover as well. Kevin asked the question, does Georgia kind of stink for Georgia standards? I think Georgia's playing like shit. I don't think they're a bad team. Well,
They're playing. They're struggling on offense a little bit.
they're struggling. They're making stupid ass mistakes.
They are.
That the stuff that, like, even the Texas game, you could clearly see they were a superior team.
They were great that night.
Yeah, but they still turned it over 4
They
times.
did.
They still did stupid shit. So
Beck is struggling.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I still think Georgia's the best team in the country, but they're doing a lot of dumb stuff. They've got to clean that up. They have got to clean it up.
They got to get him playing better.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing that I would be maddening for me if I was a Georgia fan, which God, geez, I wish I was.
Nice.
Yeah. But he's playing well until he turns it over. Like on the drives where he doesn't turn the ball over, he looks like a star. But you can't take out 4
You can't turn the ball over.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's like the horse is running well till he gets to the end of the race, but he doesn't win.
Right. Exactly. Well, or in this case, the horse is winning, but not by as much as he should, or you know what I mean? But anyway, I think if they get that cleaned up, which is a big, I don't know if you just can flip a switch and all of a sudden that's cleaned up, but I think if you can get it cleaned up, they're going to be very, very good. So, all right, let's keep going. Texas Tech goes on the road to take on Iowa State this week. So the Cyclones try to get to 8-0, 13.5 point favorite for the Cyclones. Who you got?
Well, I'm always leery on the Cyclones. I just am. Tech has no defense, but they can score. And, you know, when you can score, you're always dangerous against teams that aren't super talented, but are extremely well coached. 13.5 is a bunch against a team that can score. So can Iowa State get a couple of turnovers and limit those points a little bit? You got to go with the Cyclones because Tech isn't that good.
Right.
So you got to go with them. I think they cover. And by the way, are some of you people now starting to get on the BYU bandwagon?
I know they did it again. They dominated that game. We were all on them, and they were talking the Discord. I was like, "Oh, I don't know. This line's so scary," and everybody was like, "Hey, Papa Dude's been on him since game 1, and he hasn't been wrong. So let's keep on him." And they did it again. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Texas Tech for me plus 13.5.
Okay. Well, I can see that happening because UCF almost beat them.
I don't think Iowa State's losing, but I think 13.5 is too many.
It could be because they can score.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, these teams like Iowa State, the longer that zeros behind or by their name, the harder it's going to be for them to win.
Speaking of that, go to the next one.
Yep. And here we go to the next one. A good lead in. Indiana now, they have to go on the road. They're 8-point favorites at Michigan State. Who you got?
I was very impressed with them last week.
Yes.
You know, they struggled a little bit early, but they did what great teams do. They blew them away. You know, they handled them. So you got to look. Is Michigan State better than Washington? Kind of an even Steven game, isn't it? The difference is you got to go on the road. I would really be afraid for Iowa if Michigan State had won last week against the Wolverines. I think that's going to take a little steam out of them. So you got to decide, 8, is that too many? Now, is the quarterback still out?
Yeah, I have not seen the latest update on him. I think he's out.
I do too. I don't think he's back yet.
Yeah.
Man.
But you know what? They looked pretty good last week without it.
Well, that kid's played quite a bit.
Yeah.
Back to the pass.
Yeah.
Was that not a nutty place? My gosh, they enjoyed that, didn't they?
Loved it. And listen, they should be enjoying it. This is great.
Can ESPN not get some better guest pickers? It has been weak this year.
It's been bad.
It's been horrible. Some of these people are getting it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Saban's wife's the best.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about him getting the games right. They're just bad pickers. I mean,
yeah. Well, they come to OU and they get Blake Shelton,
They
and
get Blake Shelton, who's never been to an OU game in his life.
yeah,
Probably.
he had no idea.
No.
Yeah.
There's a million people they could have got for that, and
Yeah.
so they get him.
Yeah. And that's no offense to Blake Shelton. I don't have anything against him, but
No,
he's
I
not a
don't
guest
either.
picker on College Game Day.
No, he's not an
Yeah.
OU fan.
No, that was my biggest thing.
Yeah,
It's like
God,
he's
there's
like, I love
no-
all the schools here in Oklahoma. It's like, okay, you don't care about college football then.
no.
You can't love all the schools in Oklahoma. Okay.
Well, if you're a
It's not a
guest speaker at Oklahoma and you say you love all the schools at Oklahoma, then you're not an Oklahoma fan. I think that's
No.
what you're trying to say.
Exactly. No.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't go get Garth Brooks. He's from Oklahoma, and the reason they don't is he's an Oklahoma State fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could get on there and say this thing anyway. I'm going to take Indiana because I want to root for him, and I
I
don't
am
want to
too.
not root for him.
Yeah. When was Jelly Roll on? I do. It's I
Jelly
vaguely
Roll was a
remember
joke.
that. When was
Who was
that?
was he the one that was when they were in California? Who was that?
Oh, that was
nut?
Marshawn Lynch. I thought he was high as a kite on
That
the
was
air.
he was pathetic.
I was texting the girls and I said, "This is the funniest thing ever. He's horrible, but it's hilarious."
He didn't
See,
have a clue.
They were talking about Mike Elko. They were talking about Mike Elko, right?
Yeah.
And they made a comment like, "I think Mike Elko's got it going. What do you think, Marshawn?" He's like, "I don't know who Mike Elko is." And I fell. I swear
What
to
to
God.
prepare, Marshawn?
I swear to God, I fell off the couch with
Yeah.
laughter when he said that.
Well, you
He
know,
didn't
some of
give
these
one
guys,
shit about
Yeah.
Mike Elko.
they used to have guys on there that cared. They tried.
Right.
They were prepared.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, long story short, we're going back to it. Indiana for us.
Yeah, I'm taking Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Indiana. All right, let's keep it going. Kansas State goes on the road to take on Houston. Kansas State's another team that's in this thing big time.
Yes.
How about Houston? They still can't score, but they found a way to win a couple games, which,
Yeah.
you know what? When we sat down there at Norman that day, we
Yeah.
said, this coach is so good.
He
They'll
is.
win a couple, even though they're not very good.
No.
Should have won at Norman. Anyway, K-State
Okay.
minus 13.5. Who you got here?
You know, the thing is, they get better and they
Mhm.
don't quit. And we've talked about K-State 100 times too. It's extremely well coached, not
Yes.
terribly talented.
Yep.
This is a tricky game.
Yeah.
They should cover this, and I think they will. But man, I could see them playing them close. K-State's coming off Kansas.
Yep.
And by the way, I would have liked to watch more of that game. That was a really good game. Kansas gave everything they had in that.
Hey, that
And
was
almost
a hell
won.
of a game.
It
Hell of a
was.
game. Yeah.
So K-State was pushed to the limit
Yeah.
in a rivalry game. And now they got to go down to play Houston coming off a win. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm taking Houston in the points.
All right. Well, one of us will win because I'll take K-State. Here's why I don't want to back Houston anytime. They can't score. And anytime you're even though you're getting a lot of points, when you can't score, it's a problem.
Well, because you got to figure you might score 14. And so to cover, you got to hold K-State below 28. That's kind of hard to do.
Lindsay just texted me. She wants to know, who in the hell did you think Indiana was going to get? It's Indiana. Pretty funny comment.
Listen, I don't know. They could have had Mike Pence. It would have been better than what they had.
I don't know about that. But, all right.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. You're right.
Well, I thought that from like a celebrity standpoint, that's a good get. But it's like he was not into it. He didn't. You could tell he didn't.
No,
really
he
care.
wasn't into it. That was the thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
That was
Mark
the thing.
Cuban,
He wasn't.
I don't think they could have got Mark Cuban. Just
He would have been great,
yeah.
and he would have been prepared.
Yeah. That's true as well. They brought on Kyle Schwarber,
Schwarber.
however the hell you say his name.
Played
from
for the Phillies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when they announced it, I thought, oh, he'll be good. But
Well, I guess with Bobby Knight no longer with us,
there
there is nobody to bring on at Indiana, right?
That's what her
And
point was. So.
And you can't bring. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's Indiana. Other than they could have brought in like Isaiah Thomas.
Well, hey, you know who honestly, who the guest pickers were for Indiana, who would be perfect? Pat McAfee, who's from Indiana, the state of Indiana.
Okay.
Well, he works there, and Lee Corso. That's
yeah. So they both were on there anyways.
yeah, and in a way, those were kind of the representation
Yeah.
of Indiana.
But their best sport is basketball. So get a
You get a basketball
basketball.
player. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Isaiah Thomas is pretty well known.
Well, again, I don't think you can just go, hey, Isaiah, you want to show up for a non-paid gig?
Well,
today?
maybe they did go out there and they said, up yours. I ain't coming to any
Well, that's just it. I mean, who wants to come on it? I mean, it's got to be somebody that's
That's
like,
true.
you think Isaiah Thomas has thought about Indiana?
No, probably
Maybe not. I don't
No.
know.
I don't either.
Okay, well, let's keep going.
How about Steve Alford?
Well, I mean, you could have got. I'm.
He would have done
Listen,
it.
from a guy that is well known, they did it. He was just not very.
I got
good.
one. I got one.
Mhm.
Is Gene Hackman still alive?
I don't know.
Bring him on from
We're not-
Hoosiers.
Okay, we're done with this. All right, we're gonna that's got out of control. Gene
That would have
Hackman.
been cool, though.
I think Gene Hackman's alive for sure.
I think so. He's pretty old, though.
Yeah. All right,
Bring
let's
him
keep
on.
going.
Bring on the drunk. from Hoosiers.
Oh, yeah, Dennis. Isn't that Dennis Hopper? Wasn't that Dennis Hopper?
Yeah, I
Played
don't
that
know if
character,
he's
yeah.
still alive. I don't know.
I'm okay with that. I'm a huge.
That would have
Dennis
been
Hopper.
really cool. And the
Wow.
guy that played Jimmy.
Now, do you want to know? Do you want me to tell you something funny before we move on?
Yeah, good.
So Madison, right? Your
Yes, I
your
know
niece, my
Mhm.
cousin,
Right.
huge sports fan, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Basketball may be the biggest of her things that she loves, right? I don't know. She loves them all, but basketball may be the biggest. Never seen the movie Hoosiers before.
Really?
Yeah,
Now,
and
that shocks me.
shocking, truly shocking. Yeah. So
By the way, is Lindsay not teaching school today?
I don't know. Yeah, you're at school and you're. Well, are they off for Halloween? It's
Mm.
Friday.
I don't
No, it's
think
Thursday. It's
so.
Thursday. Oh, maybe I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe it's her plan hour.
Well, maybe so. But yeah,
Okay.
never seen the movie Hoosiers. So
That
talk about the
shocks
drunk. You're talking about Gene Hackman. We'll
Yeah.
talk about Shooter. She doesn't know any of these people, so it's
That's
embarrassing.
unbelievable.
There you go. She's on her lunch.
Get
You
it. A
gotta
lunch
eat
break.
lunch. Come on.
Okay.
All right. We've gone way off the rails. We've got to
Yeah,
get back
that's
to this
okay. Let's get
important
back on.
game in Columbia, South Carolina on
Huge
Saturday
game.
night. Texas A&M goes on the road to take on South Carolina. Texas A&M only a 2.5 favorite. This is a tricky game. This is
It's
tough.
tricky.
All right, who you got?
We said the same thing when who was it? Mississippi went down there.
Yes,
And what happened?
they dominated them
Yes, right.
because they're not that good.
No. And they choke.
And they choked against LSU as well when they had the chance.
Yeah. A&M is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that game. It turned on an interception.
Yep.
I don't think they win that game if he doesn't throw that interception. I really don't. What quarterback are they going to play in this game as well?
Mm-hmm.
I can't take South Carolina. I want to. I think A&M is pretty damn good. So I'm going to go with them to beat them.
Look, South Carolina's had 2 chances in very similar spots.
Mhm.
You know, LSU game day, everybody going crazy. They get the
Yep.
lead. Looks like they're going to win the game. They lose. And then
Yep.
Ole Miss, a game that I thought, hey, they're coming. Ole Miss coming off a loss.
Yeah.
This is a big time chance for South Carolina to get another big win.
Yep.
What happened?
They got dominated.
They got dominated.
Yep.
Then they came to Norman and beat a JV team, and now everybody thinks, oh yeah, they're ripe for the picking. Nope, A&M will beat them. I really believe A&M will beat them. And if they don't, I mean, all credit to South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina is a bad team.
Oh, they're not bad. No.
I just don't know that they're good enough to beat teams like this.
don't think they're good enough on offense.
Yeah, give me A&M. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Louisville goes on the road to take on Clemson. I thought I thought Louisville, I won't call it a good win, but it was a gutty win. They looked like
was.
they're in big time trouble and came back and won.
They did.
Bigger challenge here. They got to go to Clemson. Clemson's a 10-point favorite.
Yep. Give me the Tigers. I don't think Louisville's got enough defense. They can't stop anybody.
I just
So
don't think
I think
Louisville's
Clemson
that
will be
good.
too good.
I really don't think Louisville's that good.
I don't either.
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Dennis.
Dennis.
I just don't.
They don't have any defense. I think they're really good on offense, but
Yeah.
their defense is poor.
I think Clemson gets it done pretty easily. I'm with you in this one. All right, couple more to go here. Kentucky goes on the road to take on Tennessee. It'll be Tennessee that's a 17-point favorite.
Yeah. Well, I think Kentucky's kind of peaked.
Yeah.
They stunk it up against Auburn.
Yep.
Although Auburn's a lot better than their record.
Yep.
They really are.
Yep.
They've lost some tough games. 17 is the only thing. Because Tennessee offensively isn't very good either, and Kentucky's defense is good. So there's your question mark right there. But you got to think Kentucky's not going to score any more than 10. So Tennessee can, if they get 28, they're going to win, and you think they're going to. So I'm going to go to Tennessee to cover simply because Kentucky might get shut out. It's possible.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I think Tennessee's going to cover this as well, and I don't think it'll be too much trouble for Tennessee. I think they're one of those teams sitting there with the one loss that they've got their eyes on the prize. They're going to have to go to Georgia, and that's not going to be easy. But maybe a 2-loss Tennessee can get in. They can't stumble here, and I don't think they will.
No, can't lose.
All right, final game, and this is a good one. This is a really good game. Sneaky.
It is.
Pittsburgh still undefeated at 7-0. They go on the road to take on 7-1 SMU. SMU 7.5-point favorite. Who you got?
Would you say this is an elimination game?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a one-loss Pitt gets in.
No.
A one-loss SMU might because they're undefeated in the ACC.
Yep.
And they could still qualify for a championship game.
Yep.
I don't think I think this is SMU's toughest game left. I think they've been pretty quietly sitting down there, beating everybody that comes in there, and then they go on the road and win. I underestimated Pitt. I picked Syracuse. That's the last time I'm ever picking Syracuse. They were horrid in that game, and they've done that to me twice.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's better than I thought. I think, God, I wish that line was 6.5. I don't like that 7.5. I can see this being a one score, like 31-24 type game. But I'm putting my trust in the ponies. Give me SMU to cover.
I think it could be like 10.5, and it won't matter. I think SMU is going to cover. I don't think Pittsburgh's that good.
They looked good the other night, though.
Oh, my God. Anybody's going to look good when you're throwing 6 interceptions in a game. I mean, that was a
he not
joke.
horrible?
That was just horrible.
Horrible.
God.
No wonder Ohio State turned to Will Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, give me SMU. I think they win this one pretty easily. Listen, SMU had a gritty win as well. You know, if not a good win, a gritty win. So, yeah, I'm going to go SMU. So Kevin says, if you watch SMU against Duke, you would want to wash your mouth out with soap. I have watched SMU.
They did turn it over a bunch.
Listen, I watched them play Duke. I watched them when they got beat to BYU. I watched them the very first week of the season where they almost got beat. I think it was Nevada. Was it Nevada?
Yeah, on the road.
I have seen them play horrible. And I have also seen them play extremely well. So it is what it is. Dennis and I were watching that SMU BYU game and we're like, wow, how much did we overrate SMU? And I was like, so bad. They may not go to a bowl. And here they are.
Yeah.
And again, last week, I mean, they look like they were beaten. I'm like, God, they're horrible. And anyway, they come back to win. And exactly. The team that beat them was BYU. Well, hell, they're undefeated. So they're our money makers. So we're not going to hold out against them.
I've been trying to tell people that BYU's not bad. By the way, anytime you turn the ball over 6 times on the road and you win, you're doing something good.
Well, it tells me that Duke's not very good.
Well, they're not, but they're Duke would beat us.
Yep. Well, yeah, yes.
Speaking of us, real quick.
Oh no. Do we have to do this?
I just want your opinion on this. Okay.
Okay.
All of the big mouth OU people says, oh, this is going to be a slaughter. Yeah. I see no way in hell this is a slaughter.
Well, I think it's a slaughter if Maine turns it over a lot. And I think they might.
I think somebody said they're 34.5-point favorites
Yeah.
somewhere. There's a line somewhere you can get on them. I will be shocked if they win. This team isn't any good. Oklahoma is not any good.
So here's why I would take Oklahoma.
34.5?
I would take them. Yes. Because Oklahoma's like preparing for this game.
That's how
Right.
bad this is.
Like I've heard several people that I respect say Oklahoma needs to come out and play a fantastic game. They need to score. They need to show that they can score.
Oh, do you realize what you're saying?
I absolutely realize it. Yeah, but that's where this is at. So
They say they're doing that, but I don't think they'll be ready.
I definitely think they're going to be ready.
I
I
tell you
really
what,
do.
you just solidified how bad a shape this program is in if they are going to be ready for Maine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
is
can't argue.
absolutely embarrassing.
I agree. You're not saying anything I don't disagree with.
And
And
then
look,
they're also, well, they're going to get some confidence back, and then they're going to go to Missouri and win next week. So you're going to play Maine. Now, the Black Bears have had a pulse over the years. They're 4-4.
mhm.
Now, if they were 8-0, might be a little different. 7-1. They're 4-4. So we're going to get some confidence beating the Black Bears from Maine. By the way, another topic was mentioned. A lot of the guys are hoping Maine has a live bear. The Bears. By the way, when South Carolina was down there, did you see the live bird?
No,
They supposedly had a live gamecock.
they did. They definitely did not.
Eddie said they did.
Eddie's high.
No, they looked it up, and
Really?
it was the first time there'd been a live animal on Owen Field other than the ponies that pulled a Sooner schooner.
Well, I
You know,
sure didn't see it.
I didn't either.
I know they have one. I've seen it like when they play at home. I see it, but I did not see it in Norman. No, but
Okay.
we were in like a zombie apocalypse that
That's
day.
true.
So
Yeah.
it could have been there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking for witches and other types of Halloween stuff going on down there. We were in a different dimension.
I was just hoping that it would end quickly. Yeah. Okay. Any other games you got?
No, there's not hardly anything. Hawaii at Fresno State,
Oh,
14
boy.
points for Fresno. I think they cover that. That'd probably be one of my
Okay.
goofy games. Mississippi State is at home to UMass.
Okay.
I think the Bulldogs might get well this week. 18-point favorites. Don't you think they can?
Oh, 18. Well, shit, they can't stop anybody.
No.
But
UMass is, what are they, 2-6?
yeah,
This
they're
is
not
the
very
SEC.
Yeah.
We get two super games this week. The two worst teams, Mississippi State against UMass and
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Maine. And you know, both of these teams are zeroing in on this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Although Mississippi State is no longer bowl eligible.
I think Oklahoma would beat Mississippi State.
They're all saying we need to make a bowl so we can practice an extra 3 weeks. What's keeping you from doing it anyway?
I kind of, well, yeah, that, but I also think for me personally, it's like, I kind of hope they don't just to see another streak get broken that
Yeah.
people talk about. Like, I realized this last week. We were talking about 1998. A lot of these people that are OU fans, they weren't even alive, or they were tiny little kids. They don't know what that even was. And it's like, come here, let's show you. The last 3 years, that's what it was. Minus one game.
It's unbelievable. But anyhow, I like those two a little bit. That's about it.
Okay.
It's weak.
All right, we'll go to the NFL now. Oh,
Yes.
Pedlo says he missed it. He said, "Who wins? South Carolina A&M." We both picked A&M to win that game.
What do you think, Pedlo? What's your pick?
I think it's going to be a good game, but I at the end, I just don't think South Carolina can beat a
Isn't that like
really
a-
good team.
Is that a
So.
2:30 game?
6:30. 6:30.
Oh, well, okay. It's at night.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
I mean,
Carolina chokes.
it matters slightly. They're just going to have to prove that they can actually do it. That's the thing. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. NFL, and tonight, this is an interesting line to say the least. Tonight, the Texans and the Jets. The Jets -2. I guess they're favored because Diggs is out, but I don't know. What about you?
Has he done that much?
I mean, he'd been okay, but
Diggs, I mean.
yeah, that's he'd been all right.
The Jets lost to New England.
There's no way I'm betting the Jets.
When are we going to get over this fascination with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I'm not saying he's the reason they're losing. They suck. They are 2-6, and they've lost to some bad teams. Houston is not bad. I don't think they're great. But they're 6-2. 6-2 against 2-6. Give me the Texans. I can't pick the Jets. First of all, I hate the Jets, and because I don't like Rodgers. I don't want to root for him.
Yep.
And I think he's going to win anyway.
All right, let's keep going. We're going to go.
You don't think so?
Oh no, I think the Texans will win easy.
All right.
Yeah. I'm totally with you.
Okay.
I just didn't need to say anymore because it's like I don't know. It's weird. All right. The Cowboys and the Falcons are next here. The Falcons are 3-point favorites here at home against the Cowboys. What do you think?
Do you think Dallas might make a coaching change in the middle of the season? I don't think it's his fault, but
I don't think so. No,
they're not good.
No.
Big game for Atlanta. By the way, Tampa Bay's defense is awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah.
I like the Falcons at home to beat the Cowboys. Kind of the last straw for the Cowboys, though, so they may.
You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cowboys +3.
All right.
I think they're going to beat Atlanta's no good. I think if the Cowboys have anything left, they'll beat them.
By the way, I'm sure you haven't had time. Have you looked at these games this week? Oh,
Yeah.
you have? I didn't think you had time to do it.
No, I've looked at them, just not as much as I would have liked. But
There's some dandies coming up down the
Oh, yeah, there are.
down the row here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Dolphins and the Bills, not quite a dandy, but the Dolphins do have their quarterback back, but they lost at home last week. Bills -6. Gosh, I think the Bills should be heavier favorite than that.
Me too. I don't get this one.
Mm-mm.
This ain't the Miami Dolphins we thought it was going to be.
No.
And they lost to the Cardinals. Kudos to the Cardinals. Big win for them. By the way, I think they're in first place, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're tied for first. Three-way tie.
Yep.
What a division.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Bills should kill them. The Bills are playing really well.
Yeah, I like
went to Seattle and dominated them. So
yeah,
I like Buffalo.
All right, both going Buffalo here. We'll keep on going. The Raiders and the Bengals. It's the Bengals that are 7-point favorites at home.
Lost last week to a good team. Who was it? The Eagles went in there and really played good.
Yep.
They should get well this week. They're better than 3-5, but look at that home record. 0-4.
0-4.
That's unreal.
Yep.
The only thing is it too many points? I don't like the Raiders at all. So give me the Bengals.
All right. I'm with you on that one. I took the Bengals -7 as well. The Chargers and the Browns are next. The Chargers are a 1.5-point favorite on the road here, but Cleveland has life. They finally, because he got injured, but they finally have a quarterback. It's bad. Just to kind of stop for a second. Last year, Joe Flacco comes in and the Browns win.
Yeah.
But it's like, I get it. This year, Jameis Winston comes in and he's noticeably better than Watson.
Mm-hmm. But when you're paying a guy the kind of money they're paying Watson, you have to play him, right?
Yep. What a disaster. But anyway, what about this game?
They played good last week.
They did. They actually did. Yeah.
I knew Baltimore would be a little flat, and they were, but they could have won the game. I mean, Cleveland played really well. And then you got the stumbling, bumbling Chargers coming in there with an offense that's not very good. They're much more disciplined, though, and they're better defensively. They're more of a consistent type team. And I just don't like the way they're playing offense. 1.5, they're better than Cleveland.
Yeah.
But these are the kind of games the Chargers lose. They got to win this. They have to win this game. I got to go with the Chargers.
Yeah. I'm going to go the Chargers as well. Isn't it interesting? They finally get a coach talking about the Chargers, but now their roster isn't what it was.
It's not as good.
They
on
had the idiot for the
offensively.
coach. They probably win one game with this roster if they had the idiot they used to
true.
have. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, give me the Chargers as well. I think they're getting it done.
Yeah.
Okay, the Patriots and the Titans in a battle of the Titans, no question about it. This is I am surprised you can get into this game for $41. It should be $1,000. This will be so good. Tennessee 3.5 point. Who's paying $41 to watch this game? Tennessee 3.5 point favorite against the Chargers. What do you think?
They'd have to pay me $41. That's if I lived right across from the stadium. Tennessee's made a good showing last week.
Oh, yeah.
They get beat like
really
52-14, something like that.
Yeah.
Patriots coming off a win. They beat the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets.
Yeah.
Tennessee's 3.5 point favored. Isn't it tempting to take the Patriots?
Horrible. Yeah, it is.
You got two shitty teams. You don't bet.
Yeah.
They're crappy teams. So you just skip it.
Yeah.
Because who knows?
I'll take the points in the Patriots. I think they try.
They do try.
Yeah. They're just terrible, but they try. Drake May's not, I mean,
well, he's got hope.
He's not terrible, but it's hard to tell. So, all right. What a game. Let's keep going. The Commanders go on the road, take on the Giants. Okay. I got to rant for a second.
Okay.
I hope Kevin B's still on so he can hear this. I hate the Giants. So I am in a fantasy league and I am ahead by 1 point with 5 minutes to go in the game. I'm playing the Steelers defense. Okay. So you get points for sacks, fumbles, shit like that. The Steelers have the ball, and I'm thinking, run out the clock, you idiots, because Daniel Jones will throw an interception or fumble or get sacked in the final minutes if he has the ball, and I will get screwed. Idiot Wilson fumbles the ball, so the Giants get it back, but they're at the 30-yard line, so I'm thinking, okay, because if the Giants score again, I'm a lock to win. So I'm saying, okay, all right, it's at the 30. Maybe they can go score, and it's over. What happens? First down, nothing happens. Second down, the idiot almost gets sacked, but he's so big, he's stretched out, and he gets a yard. Third play, holds on to the ball, gets sacked, fumbles, and I lose. So I hate Danny Dimes. I cannot stand him. Washington, 4-point favorite here. I will take Washington in this game.
Me too, but I think it could be a trap.
Yeah. I don't think it's a trap. You have to be good to be. They're terrible.
They are.
This isn't a trap.
Washington's living on a prayer after last week.
Yeah.
What a fiasco that was.
Total.
Did you see the guy over there gesturing to the cloud?
Yes.
Welcome to the NFL.
Oh, it's crazy.
And by the way, the Bears had that game. They're sitting 5-2.
Yeah, I know it. It's the most Bears loss ever,
And they played well. I mean, they're playing extremely well.
Yep. I know. It was something. That's for sure.
I don't know what it was, but you're right.
All right.
It's a good one.
The party continues.
Yes.
The Saints and the Panthers. And when the NFL was created, this is what they had in mind for 2024. The Saints and the Panthers. It's the Saints. They are a 7-point favorite. What do you got here?
Combined record 3-13 of these two teams. No way they're going to win by 7. Give me the Panthers. How about that?
Oh, wow. Okay. Just coming in strong and betting the Panthers. I will take the
This
Saints.
is their Super Bowl. I've heard they're preparing really well for this game.
Yeah, right.
They're trying to gain some confidence when they play next week.
I think the Saints will beat them. So give me the Saints. I don't know. I
didn't say they wouldn't. The Saints wouldn't. The Saints they're terrible.
They are terrible, but Derek Carr is going to play. And I think
he is?
Yeah.
Okay, I changed my mind.
All right, Broncos and Ravens. Big game here. Both teams 5-3. How could there be two different 5-3s in the whole world? The Broncos, they're not any good, but they're 5-3, and the Ravens dick around and lose games they never should lose, and they're 5-3. That's why they're a 9.5-point favorite. Who you like here?
There's a reason why the Chiefs are 7-0
Yeah.
and win the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
the Ravens are 5-3.
Yep.
Because the Ravens should be 8-0, and one of those losses was over the Chiefs.
Well, listen, the Ravens at least should be 7-1. Let me say this: the Ravens lost at home to the Raiders.
Yes, and then they lost to Cleveland
at home to the Raiders. I
Yes.
mean, embarrassing. And also, the Ravens lost to the Browns.
Yes,
So
you can't do that and be an elite team because they look like an elite team most of the time.
yeah,
Now, Denver has romped the last 2 weeks, but they haven't played anybody.
right.
But that's okay.
See, and
They
I'm on this
still-
bandwagon. I said it last year. I said Sean Payton's one of the best coaches in the
He
league
is.
ever because that team was terrible last year and they almost made the playoffs.
I know.
And so this year their win total was like 4.5. And I was going on VEASAN saying,
yeah.
the Broncos over is the best play. And they're
Oh,
like,
that's
that's so
no
crazy.
doubt.
They're going to be awful. I was like, they were awful last year. It's like they had no quarterback. They had no quarterback last year. So,
Right.
I mean, he's a great coach.
He is. And they're playing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
For them. And Knicks is getting better.
Yeah.
And 9.5 is too many.
Yeah.
Because the Ravens are going to screw around and keep them close. I would take them 9.5 against a better team than I do against teams like this because they screw around.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, losing last week, there's no excuses. What were they? 8.5-point favorites, I think, last
Yep.
week.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to take the Broncos. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I will take let's see. The Broncos are terrible.
They're not terrible.
They're pretty bad. They're coached well. I'm talking from a talent standpoint. I'll take the Ravens. I think they're going to bounce back. Give me the Ravens. All right. Jaguars on the road. Speaking of terrible, Jaguars, they're on the road against the Eagles. The Eagles are 7.5-point favorites. Who you got here?
I think the Eagles are quietly getting better. That was a good win last week.
Mm-hmm.
Easy win. So give me the Eagles to cover because Jacksonville's awful.
All right. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Eagles as well. Let's keep her going here. The Bears and the Cardinals. How tough is this game to predict?
I know.
The Cardinals are -1.5.
Yeah. They won what? 2 in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 3?
I think it's 2.
Okay. Must wins.
Maybe 3. I don't think about it. Anyway, go ahead. They've won 3 out of 4. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Must wins. Good win last week for them. Huge game.
Mm-hmm.
They're tied for first with Seattle and the Niners, with the Rams a half a game behind. It was great divisional race. And
by the way, my Super Bowl, one of my teams to make the Super Bowl, the Rams, they're back in it.
Yeah, they're coming on.
Yep.
The Bears are playing very well. What will that heartbreaker do to them? These are professional players. I don't think it bothers them a whole lot because it's their job, and I think they bounce back. They're probably better. I'm going to Cardinals. First time this year, I've picked the Cardinals. Kiss of death. I'm going
Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals as well. I pick them every week, and sometimes I'm mad, and sometimes I'm not.
Well,
so
you're
yeah,
4-4. No, you're 4-4.
Yeah, 4-4. Give me the Cardinals. I'm going to take them as well. All right, Lions and the Packers. Now this is a good one.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. Detroit, a 3.5-point favorite. This could be a great game. It's in Green Bay, and I think for Detroit, I think they're the better team. But going to Green Bay when you're Detroit, how hard is that going to be?
I could have sworn they played that. Is this their first? Oh, yeah. Green Bay or Detroit went to Minnesota.
Right.
This is the first time they played the Packers. I think Detroit is better.
I do too.
And I think they're significantly better. I'm on their bandwagon. I think offensively they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay's playing well. They were kind of lucky to win last week. Give me the Lions.
I'm going to go the Lions.
I'm going to go
Lions.
I would like to see that line get down below 3, though.
That's an oldie but goodie. Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions, but I wouldn't be surprised if they choke.
I'd love to see that line at 2.5.
Yeah, that would be great. Maybe it'll move down.
It might.
All right, my Rams, they're back in it. They're 1.5-point favorites this week to take on Seattle in Seattle. Ah, boy, that's a weird line. What do you think?
Huge game. They need this one.
They're going to get it. I took the Rams.
Yeah, I think I will too. I don't like the way the Seahawks are playing. Defensively, they're not very good. So they're 2-3 at home. Pretty tough at home. The Rams are 0-3 on the road. I think those 3 games have been on the East Coast, haven't they? They've had to go quite a ways.
Yeah.
I don't think they've played any. Or maybe Arizona might have beat them.
Arizona beat them, yeah.
Yeah. I like the Rams as well. I can't.
Rams, my Rams. That's right, my Rams.
That's
They're
right.
going to be 4-4 after this weekend.
Yep.
All right, Colts and the Vikings are next, and it's the Vikings that are a 5-point favorites here. Now, here's the good news. The Colts have benched Richardson, so now they have a chance. So what do you think, Colts, Vikings?
They don't have a chance. Well, they do have Flacco.
I think Colts. I took the Colts +5.
Yeah, you're thinking Minnesota hasn't been that good, or they get kind of coming down to earth.
I'm thinking the Colts' biggest problem, they benched him.
Did you hear what Richardson did in that
Oh,
game?
yeah.
He just took himself out.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Needed a rest.
Yeah. Yep. He's the quarterback.
It's hard to believe what some of these guys do, isn't it?
Kevin B. He was tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
Well, I tell you what, you play quarterback's one of those positions where you have to mentally be tough. You just have to. You have to. And it's just some guys, it's clear they don't have it.
No. So they did the right thing. They benched him.
But they did the right thing, but it needed to be like 3 weeks ago. But anyway.
Well, they did the wrong thing 2 years ago when they drafted him. That was so dumb.
Well, that's more than fair.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So, what was he, like number 4 pick, something like that?
He was way up there. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he was way up there.
Couldn't win at Florida.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny if Flacco drove the Colts to the playoffs?
Tell me why. Tell me why it can't happen, though. Tell me why it can't happen.
Because they're 4-4. They get this one.
Right. They're not buried. The roster,
No.
I don't think the Colts roster is amazing, but it's good. I think it's a good roster.
Oh, yeah.
If he goes in there and does what he did in Cleveland, I think they'll definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, they can because the division's not that tough.
Yep.
They got to beat Houston. The more I think about it, I'm sticking with Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
It's at home.
Yep.
But you've about convinced me to go the other way.
Well, look, Minnesota. I think Minnesota is the logical play. But again, I just feel like with the Colts, that was the issue, and it's been the issue in all the games he's played. Richardson's no good, so you get Flacco in there. All of a sudden, you're going to be able to throw the ball better. Your offense is going to operate a little bit smoother. Mm-hmm. And if you kind of get some breaks, this is a game you could win. I think it's a toss-up game. So I have to go with the team that's +5 in the game. If I'm sitting here thinking it's a toss-up.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Let's say he leads this team to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
2 years in a row. What does this tell us about the evaluation process of these NFL teams?
It tells us that some NFL teams don't evaluate quarterbacks more after the measurables. He can throw the ball 70 yards and he's fast and all this stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, that's great. Jamarcus Russell could do the same thing, but those of us who watch Jamarcus Russell play at LSU and watch him get beat 17-14 every week and be like, LSU's 8-4 because they can't score, but this guy's supposed to go be an NFL quarterback. And then you go watch Richardson and it's like, Florida can't score, but he's a top 5 quarterback. That doesn't make sense to me. So anyway,
I agree.
all right. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Final game. It's the Buccaneers and it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs 8.5-point favorites here at home. This should be a field day for Kansas
It
City.
should be.
I have watched every snap of Tampa. I don't know that there's a worse defense in the league. They are brutally bad.
Yeah.
This should be an easy one for the Chiefs.
You should have beat Atlanta twice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And who beat them the week before when those guys got hurt?
I'm trying to think.
Baltimore.
Yeah. Baltimore. And that was a game that they were in great shape before those guys got hurt. But again, even if the receivers stay healthy, they're never going to beat them because they couldn't stop them.
Not Baltimore, but they should have beat Atlanta. Mayfield's playing fantastic. He is kind of forcing an interception or two that hurts him.
Well, what's happened with Mayfield is they're getting behind.
Yeah.
And then he's pressing, and then he's making throws that he wasn't normally throwing earlier in the season because they were ahead.
He's having to carry the team, and he's very good when he has good players around him.
Right. He's not a carry in the offense.
Winning by yourself.
No.
It's Monday night. The Chiefs, I still don't think they've brought everything they got.
No.
But they're 7-0, and they're going to be 8-0.
Yeah.
And they'll probably win like 30-14, probably.
Let me ask you this. And the Chiefs, again, like you said, they're 7-0. They're overwhelming favorites, in my opinion, to win the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
Have you, at the end of all 7 of their games, have you ever once said to yourself, that was a good game by the Chiefs today? No.
Maybe we're setting too high a standard for them. I don't know.
They could be a victim of their own success. So that's part of it. Maybe 5-6 years ago, they win games like this. You're like, they did it again, and now it's like their standard is they should kill these teams.
Yeah.
And that's just not something that maybe they can do.
You just keep winning.
But for me, you get past the margin of victory. It's like they made so many mistakes in this game and they're still winning, So
yeah. Well, I think we're looking at Mahomes he's playing okay, but he's not playing great.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. As I was watching them last week and even the week before, Mahomes might be the best running quarterback in the NFL that nobody talks about.
He made a run in that game.
Yes.
Over on the far sideline.
Yes.
He just faked that defender out. He set him up and just it was no effort at all to set him up and then get outside of him.
He is incredible at running, number one. And number two, every one of his runs breaks the back.
Yeah, they do.
Opponent. That he has and I can't explain it. Well, I can't. I'm going to explain it right now. I don't know how he has this ability, but he does. He always knows when to run and when not to.
Yeah.
You never see him get out of the pocket. He's running and he's tackled for a yard. Never.
No.
Never.
And how many times do you think they're going to get him?
And they never do.
And they can't catch him.
When he pulls that ball down to run, I almost immediately know first down.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
He is. Yeah. Guys can't do that.
And again,
Lamar's the only one that can.
Lamar can do it because he's an incredible athlete, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think Lamar is the type of guy that I know exactly when I need to run or when I need to throw. I think he's just more don't have it, pull it down. And that's fine. That's what 99% of quarterbacks are. This guy's it's just on another level. And you look at him and go, he's having a season that is just marginal at best for him. He's not having a good season.
No.
But still, it's like you said, he makes those plays. Yeah.
Well, even when he's not playing well, you never doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, he acts like there's no doubt they're going to win. There's just no.
Yeah.
He's never flustered.
Nope.
He just, if you're playing with him and he's the quarterback, you just got total confidence you're going to win the game.
Yep.
All you got to do is keep close.
Even if he's playing like shit.
Yeah. He'll do something.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
All right. That'll do it for the show. We're out of things. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I can't think of anything.
I can't either. We've covered a lot.
An hour and a half, and you got a busy blinkers off coming up.
Yeah, blinkers off will be coming up here soon as well. Jared wants to know, have you seen the remaining schedule? And that's the thing. I'm gonna pull it up here. So you got the Bucks and the
Yep.
Broncos at home.
Okay.
You have to go to the Bills. That will not
It's
be
a toughie.
Yeah, obviously. Carolina, terrible.
Mhm.
Raiders at home. Come on.
Mhm.
Chargers at home. Come on.
Mhm.
At Cleveland. Come on. You do have to play the Texans. I mean, that
It is at
obviously
home.
tough game, but it is at home. The Steelers, talk about great coaching. That's a great coach. I have no idea if the Steelers can beat them, but
Where's
and
it
then
at?
the Broncos, they should lose like 2 games all year.
At the most.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They could go undefeated. Now, you might get down to that Denver game, and they've got it sewed up,
Yeah, sure.
and they may not play everybody. The only game I can see them, if they're ready to play, and it would depend too on that Pittsburgh game as well.
Yeah.
What's at stake?
Yeah.
It's the Bills.
Yeah.
They're going to have to really screw up to lose to anybody else. I mean, you got
Mm-hmm.
Denver doesn't have any offense. You got to have some offense to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills do.
I think they'll lose in Buffalo.
They might. If I was a Chiefs fan, I would want them to lose because
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to go into these playoffs undefeated. That's too much pressure. Because then you got to put up with this. Oh, they're going to go undefeated. No one's ever
Right.
done that, and all this stuff.
Yep.
Well, Miami did it, but
Yeah.
a long time ago. It was a little easier then. You don't want to go into the playoffs. I wouldn't undefeated. Go ahead and get a loss. And Buffalo would be the one. Carolina, no. The Raiders, no. The Chargers can't come in there and beat them, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. Yeah. It's
What do
pretty
you
easy.
like? Big picture, the Bills, is that about the only team you think could beat them in the playoffs on the AFC
I think
side?
the AFC is pretty weak.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
Like,
see. Let's think.
I don't think the Ravens will ever beat them.
Well, the Ravens are not bad, but they can't beat the Chiefs.
No.
Well, Buffalo can't either.
And you're assuming now that it'll be at Arrowhead this year.
Well, that looks like it, yeah.
I think the Bills are the only team on their side where it's like, I mean, they could. I don't think they will, but they might.
They've lost 2. If they beat the Chiefs, theoretically, if they ran the table, they might get. It doesn't matter
No.
where you play.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't make any difference whether the Chiefs are at home or not.
Yeah. Then on the
As
NFC
15s out there, it doesn't make any difference.
on the NFC side, is it Detroit? Is that the team?
I love Detroit.
Yeah.
And I think Detroit could pose a threat.
When you watch Detroit play as of October 31st, and things can definitely change over the next 2 months, they look like the best team in the league.
In the NFC, yes.
I think in the whole
Will they
league,
get is Hutchinson out for the year?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, that hurts them against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because they would need a disruptor like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they have enough defense to beat the Chiefs. They could possibly outscore them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like them a lot. I think Green Bay is a team to watch. The Niners, if they get healthy, are still formidable, but they got to get healthy.
The Niners are never going to beat Kansas City.
No.
Never.
They just
They're not going to be. You have to have a quarterback.
Yeah, and here's the thing that's such a nightmare for these NFL teams. When you compare them to the Chiefs, you might have a really good quarterback, but he ain't as good as what the Chiefs got.
No, but you got to have somebody that can go out there and match him.
Who can do that?
Well, I mean, you've got guy like the Bills. They have a guy that can at least go out there, and you're a little bit scared of him.
Yeah.
You know,
if he's on.
The Lions golf's playing great.
He is, but
like the Bengals have been able to beat him because Burrow can make plays.
Yeah, but they don't have the team.
Well, no, I'm not saying this year, but
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
in
know.
the past, the teams that have beat the Chiefs, they've had
Yeah.
or been close to beating them.
That's right.
Their
You gotta-
quarterbacks have been dynamic, you know.
Say they have to beat the Bills to get to the Super Bowl or whatever. Allen's going to have to play fantastic.
Well, I don't think the Bills will beat them in a million years, to be honest with you,
No,
because
no.
I just don't. They've had so many chances. They had them at home and they couldn't do it. You know,
The
I
problem
think
is,
got to be the Lions or somebody like maybe if Love got really hot for the Packers. You know,
yeah,
that's what it's going to take. I don't think the Texans can beat them. I don't.
Oh,
think
no
that's the thing.
way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The thing is, to beat the Chiefs, you got to somehow be ahead 2 scores in the fourth quarter.
Right. Right.
You do.
Yeah.
Who's good enough to be ahead of them 2 scores going into the fourth quarter? That's the issue.
And playoff
It's
Chiefs.
a
probably
1-score
nobody.
game.
Yeah. It's
You
not gonna
better
happen.
do everything right. Who was it had the lead? Was it was the first game of the year? Somebody had a chance to go up 2 scores on them late. Who'd they play first?
The Ravens.
They played them first?
Yeah.
I thought they played them second.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the Ravens. Well, I don't know why we're debating it. I can look right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ravens. It was
Okay.
the second game. The
It was the
Bengals had a
Bengals.
chance. The
Yeah.
Bengals had a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, because look at the final score.
Yeah.
So they had the ball, and it was like 25 to what would it have been? 25 to 20, maybe?
Yeah. Or 19.
And
I don't remember. Yeah.
25-19, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was 25-19. They had the ball with a chance to go up 2 scores, and they were driving,
Mhm.
but they couldn't finish it off.
Yep.
And that's what you have to do.
Yep.
I knew the minute they didn't score, they were beat.
Yep. And they were. All right. Before we leave, people want to know favorite Halloween candy. What do you got?
Well, Halloween candy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have one. Just candy bars. I would like, if I'm going and I want my favorite candy bar,
Yeah. There you go.
Milky Ways.
Milky Way.
Milky Way is my favorite. I do like Twix
Twix. Yep.
and Kit Kat.
Yeah. Kit Kat would be good as well. Yep.
I don't like anything with peanuts in it. So I don't like Snickers that well. And I'm one of the few people that don't like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Everybody, Milky Way, very interesting.
What's
Well, that's not something you normally hear.
really?
No,
You don't
I
like
think
Milky Ways? I love caramel.
Snickers, Reese's, Twix. I mean, Kit Kats, those are normal.
Oh, really?
answers. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I like a candy bar that has caramel in it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that would be one. There you go. Milky
Yeah,
Way.
I
wouldn't
have a
guessed it.
huge bag. What I do, and I don't know whether I'll have any trick-or-treaters here at the apartment complex or not,
I don't know.
but I went and bought a big bag of Milky Ways. And then if I don't have anybody, I've got the Milky Ways for myself.
So, in other words, you're shutting your light off tonight.
Well, after I've given away maybe 10. Each of them will get 2.
So, most overrated Halloween candy. How about that?
Well, do they still give out candy corn?
That's what I was going to say. Candy corn. Why is that a thing?
When I was young, I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I guess because I don't see it much anymore.
No, it's not really a thing anymore.
Then you hate to go somewhere and they gave you an apple.
Yeah, well, yeah. You'd always get one too.
Yeah, here you go. Here's an apple. And I always thought, okay, you ran out of candy, so now you're giving away.
What do you think about this?
No,
Thing?
Hershey bars are not gross.
I don't like them.
You don't? Too much chocolate?
No, I don't like just Hershey bars. No.
I don't eat one. No. How about Hershey Kisses?
No. Mm-mm.
Dum Dums suck. Yeah,
I like Dum Dums.
it's a sucker.
Those little suckers. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. Oh God, what are they called? Jolly Ranchers.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be right up there. Yep.
Yeah,
That'd be right up there.
M&Ms. Okay.
That'd be up there. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna go because we got stuff we've got to
Yeah.
do. Magic just texted me, said they're going to be live at 1 p.m. Pacific. That'd be 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and they're doing Breeders' Cup Live Q&A and then their regular Pick 5. So
All right.
that's what they're going to be doing there. And Magic also texted me and said, "You're a dum-dum." So there you go. What's
Thank
the
you.
best? Hold on. What's the best thing went for at Halloween? I don't do Halloween. Never did. I hardly ever went.
I hated it.
Can you imagine? Can you remember honestly any of my costumes? I can't
No.
even remember.
maybe skeleton once.
Maybe.
Were you a Skeletor guy?
Yeah, I think I was once. Yeah.
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 I
I went as a hockey player once because I
Yeah.
had all the shit, you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
never liked to go to people's houses.
No, I didn't either. Never.
I was always, if I was with 3 or 4 kids, I was the one in the back.
I hated Halloween and I still do. My light will be off. I'm not giving out candy. I'll go down in the basement, turn every light off, and just sit there and watch TV until it's over. So
Well, I'm not that bad, but
no, not
Nope.
doing that.
big deal.
Not doing that stuff. Not going to happen.
I never did
Lincoln
go
Golf
out.
coming up at 2 p.m. Central. I bet you could guess what we're going to be talking about. The
I
Breeders'
think
Cup.
I know.
So,
I never
right.
did go out and tear stuff up.
no, I'm trying to think. I didn't either.
But toilet papering was fun.
I never did that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Trying to think.
Throwing eggs, no.
No, I never did
There's
that.
no sense in that.
No. Heather hates Halloween too. She does like Hocus Pocus, the movie. We'll probably watch that. Shaving cream. Trying to think. And I don't think I ever did that
No.
either.
Too
I don't know.
expensive. Didn't have enough money to buy it. What'd you do,
Yeah,
Rob? Did you steal it?
The more I think we did toilet paper a house, but I'm not sure it was on Halloween, and I'm not sure who it was. So,
Well, we always, and I don't know, they still do this today. We always hit the teachers' houses.
it seems like we may have done that once, but I sure don't remember who.
I can remember, real quick, there were 3 teachers or 4 that lived on our street, and one of them was the head football coach.
Mm-hmm.
So the rumors were out they were going to hit us all. And I was first. We were first on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I did stay out in the garage for a while. That I remember that because I didn't care if they did it. I just didn't want to clean it up.
Was that when we lived on Mary Lane?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I may have been out there for a minute. Watching.
Yeah, they were coming after us.
Yep, I remember that. Nothing ever happened though, did it?
No, and I never did have enemies that they would just do it because of fun. They wouldn't do it as a prank or anything like that.
Right.
Soaping windows, used to get your windows soaped.
I never did that though.
Oh, well, the truck window was soaped a couple times.
What's the point of that anyway?
Good question.
Right?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we got to go. We got stuff to do. Blinkers Off coming up at 2 Central and the Magic Mike at 3 Central. So it's going to be loaded. It's going to be very much loaded. And we got content coming up all week. We will be live Friday during the Breeders' Cup, and then Saturday during the Breeders' Cup as well. We'll be live. So 2 live shows coming up today, 2 more live shows coming up, one Friday and one Saturday. A lot going on. Get the Betting Bible if you haven't got it already. It's the best thing we've ever put out, so make sure to get that. Lots of content, including John White's top 4 for each race this year as well. I know he was excited about that, and we were excited to have him. So we're going to get off here, but we'll be back here soon for more Blinkers Off, and we'll be back next week for more Dudes Who Bet Sports. So we'll see you guys coming up here real soon.